Case of the week. This week's case is titled Lee versus Lee's Farming Limited. Now, to the facts of the case. In this case, Mr. Lee formed a company called Lee's Air Farming Limited in 1954, where he served as the sole director, majority shareholder, and chief pilot. He exercised full control over the company's affairs, including decision-making on contracts and operations. In March 1956, Mr. Lee was tragically killed while piloting an aircraft during an area top-dressing operation. His widow, Mrs. Lee, applied for compensation under the New Zealand Workers' Compensation Act 1922, arguing that her husband died in the course of his employment with the company. The New Zealand Court of Appeal rejected her claim, holding that Mr. Lee could not be both employer and employee of the same company. Essentially, that a man could not employ himself. Mrs. Lee appealed to the Privy Council. Now, the primary legal issue was whether Mr. Lee was an employee of the Lee's Air Farming Limited, despite being its sole director and controlling shareholder, to the decision of the court. The Privy Council held that Mr. Lee was indeed an employee of Lee's Air Farming Limited. The courts reaffirmed the principle of separate legal personality as established in Salomon versus Salomon & Co. Limited. It ruled that Lee's Air Farming Limited was a distinct legal entity, separate from Mr. Lee himself. Therefore, the company could validly enter into a contract of service with him. His role as chief pilot created an employment relationship separate from his duties as director and shareholder. Accordingly, Mrs. Lee was entitled to workers' compensation for her husband. How do you apply this principle? This case reinforces the doctrine of separate legal personality in company law. Once incorporated, a company acquires its own legal identity, distinct from that of its owners, directors, or shareholders. Consequently, individuals who control a company can also be its employees, creditors, or contractors, provided a valid legal relationship exists.